morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
It's almost lunchtime. We're doing it a little bit later today, so it feels a little strange for me.
Yep. Almost afternoon, but not yet.
I'm ready for lunch.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Rachel Gallegos.
Tim Bonsalar.
Grant Alexander.
We're here with our monthly market update, talk about mortgages and the real estate market and what things are doing. So we'll start with you, Grant. You are with Rapid Home Finance. We love working with you.
Oh, thank you.
Tell us a little bit about what you saw in the mortgage industry in June.
Well, things are still moving really smoothly. The interest rates did take a little bump up. When the Feds announced, what their take on inflation and stuff like that. And in my world, in the mortgage world, whenever rates bump up, it seems like everyone freaks out about it. But then I look and I'm like, they're 0.1 different or 0.2 different than they were before. I'm not seeing huge drastic moves on that side of it. But here's the thing is not everything is created equal. I met with some loan officers from a different mortgage company in town that wasn't a broker. And they were running into some things. And I was like, well, just shoot me a couple scenarios over, and we'll see where we're at. And it was a drastic difference. One scenario was a whole 0.5% better rate and about $1,500 less in closing costs. And the other one was 1.5% lower.
That's a lot.
Plus more. So when you're out there and you are pricing stuff up, people might just say to you, well, the market, it's still really good rates, but not at the all-time low. It's still important to maybe get a second opinion on that because yes, 3.5 is not necessarily a bad rate, but 3 is better. And so if you're not asking those questions, you might just be like, oh yeah, I heard they've gone up a little bit, so I'll just take the 3.5. And you really don't realize what else is out there. But yeah,
or realize how that really breaks down in numbers. Yeah,
absolutely. I've had people refinance just to save 0.5%, not alone having a choice to do that from the get-go. Right. But the other thing is appraisals, right? So we haven't had too many issues where appraisals are coming in, real low, but the time frame of the appraisals, Rachel, I know we've talked about this, right? You are subject to the scheduling of the appraiser and their workload, right?
Yep.
We don't get to just call up any appraiser we want and say, can you please appraise this house and have it back to me on Friday? So it's important in a purchase transaction to get to that ordering of that appraisal as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Maybe, also if you have inspections and you're like, well, I don't want to order the appraisal until the inspections, we can always order the appraisal and ask the appraiser not to, go out and actually do the appraisal until the inspection date. That just in case there was an issue with the inspections that caused a renegotiation or maybe to kill a deal, we would have time then to cancel that appraisal before any costs were incurred on that. So that's what's super important right now. But I am somewhat optimistic on the market compared to maybe in April, where I'm seeing more offers getting accepted, more purchases coming across the table with reasonable terms instead. So that's kind of good to see now.
Yeah, I would say that we're seeing a cool down. It's
now,
still
mind you, cool down from it's still red hot,
right?
So it, for those people are like, yep, here it comes. And that's not really what we're saying on that. It's just
more stabilizing. Yeah.
It's more and I think it's mostly it's summer. So I think that the spring market was so insane. I think anybody who is active buyers in the spring are kind of taking the position of, you know what, I'm just going to enjoy summer with my family, go camping, go on vacation, be home with the kids, whatever. Right. And so you're just seeing a little bit of a, cool down.
Well, it's like, okay, I'm sorry you're not getting 20 offers on your house, You might
Right.
still
And
see
that's exactly
Yeah.
what it is. You're
You know?
seeing, 3 to 10 offers compared to 10 to 20 offers.
Oh,
So
right.
again,
So yeah. So for those out there that are like, here we go, the bubble's about to burst. No, it's just
No.
in a more reasonable. I would still say a heavy seller's market.
heavy sellers market.
But yeah, maybe not like 20, 30 offers. So it's really good for those in the price ranges that are below 300 because it's cooling off some and it's not like as discouraging as it was to go out there into that price range.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say anything under 200 is still it's tough.
Good luck.
Anything under 200 is tough still.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
once you start getting to that like 250, 300 especially, anything above 300 it's a lot easier. This month it's been a lot easier than it was 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago. So
Right. Yeah. So I mean,
but it's still nuts though.
Mm-hmm.
So we're seeing, and it's hard to tell whether the feds are going to actually take any action on inflation or not. But we're still in the, I would say, high 2s, low 3s. Like if I am in the 3% range for interest rate on a typical conventional loan, it's like 3.02 or 3.1. It's not 3.5 or anything like that. So
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now, and we're kind of at the point where making predictions is almost silly to what the market's going to do because none of it really makes sense of what's going on right now. Inflation's got to hit it. It's going to hit still worse than it has. It's almost like it's in denial at the moment.
Right.
But it has to at some point.
Yeah.
We've printed too much money for it not to.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Yeah. So basically we're looking at, I saw that. I don't think it's hit retail yet though.
Oh, probably.
Like I don't think those prices
they
have
still
reflected.
paid the other price to get it.
Right. Yeah. So we still have to wait for that. But yes, no, I do think that. Yeah. All right. You got anything else for us?
That's all I got for today.
That's pretty good.
Thanks, Grant.
All right.
I'll try better, Tim.
Sure, we'll talk soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
See you, Grant.
Okay.
Okay.
Look at our numbers.
Oh yeah, no. The numbers will show what Grant talked about as being, stabilizing, but it's not as crazy, but it's still very, very, positive market for folks that need to do something in the housing market. Yeah.
All right. So we look at this
What do you got
year,
here?
this month compared to last month. Okay. Now, mind you, it's June 25, right? Yeah.
So we've got a little chunk of the month still left yet.
Yeah. So I kind of put that on there. So as of right now, we have 233 sold homes in Ottawa County. Mind you, these numbers are just for Ottawa County.
Right.
So 233 have sold. If you take that 233 and you divide it by 25 and you get a, average per day, you add that average plus 5, you get about 279. Right. So probably by the end of the month, we'll have about 280 homes that have sold. So we're up a little bit compared to last month.
May. Yeah.
Not much. I mean, a little bit.
A little uptick. Yeah.
Yep. But last year,
we were cranking in May and June.
Well, and I will say that was kind of as things started to feel more normal, right?
Yeah, there was a backlog up to that point, and that's when it started to break a little bit. Yeah.
Right. So I do think that, that difference, it seems like a high number. I mean, really, it's 70 homes?
Right.
70 more homes last year. But if you figure maybe 50 of those homes were because of the backlog,
right.
It's not a huge difference if the market would have stayed semi-similar to what it's doing now. So
correct.
But we look at our days on market.
That means they're on market and then they're off right away.
Yeah.
There's not much time frame in there between the time you list it and the time someone says, "Hey, we have a."
And now keep in mind, this is an average, right?
Right.
So it's an average of all the homes, the 233 homes that sold in June in Ottawa County. So 5 or let's say, maybe 10 of those homes are $800,000+ homes. Those
Right.
homes take longer to sell.
Yeah.
So
Those don't
they
sell
might have been on the market
days.
for 30 days or, so it's
Correct.
not saying it's just the average. But
Correct.
I think that that's a very good
Right.
indication
So in other words,
that if you go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was going to say, so in other words, that the majority of that 279 that were sold were the average days on market was probably quite a bit, well, a few days, even less than 14. It's probably closer to a week. You know what I mean?
I would say so.
The majority of the 279, yeah.
Yep. And so to me, that's an indication that if you are thinking, I might want to move, right?
Mhm.
I'd like to move. Maybe I'll move. Kind of want to buy a house.
Right.
If the right house comes along, I'll buy a house. Unfortunately, we aren't in a market for that.
Right.
You got to get pre-approved before you even really start looking at houses. There is a possibility that you could go look at a house, get pre-approved, then write an offer. But for the most part, we're looking at maybe 4 days, 5 days from the time that it's listed until the time offers are due.
Yep.
So
that's majority.
And so, it doesn't hurt anything to get a pre-approval. Obviously, it puts a mark on your credit that you had an inquiry, but those are good for quite some time. And you can usually, if you go your, let's say, sometimes it's 30 days, sometimes it's 60 days, sometimes it's 90 days. Let's say you don't find something in that 90 days and they, re-pull, it's not going to affect you the same way that it did the first time because it's being pulled from the same company. So just to keep that in mind for the people who are a little bit hesitant about getting pre-approved before you start looking. But yeah, they're flying off like hotcakes.
Yep.
Average sale price. We're down from last month.
Down a little bit from last month.
Yeah, and we talked about that. It could have just been one house.
Like what you just said, though, in reference to the days in the market, with the days in the market being lower, it would stand to reason that the sell price is going to be a little bit lower too.
Yeah.
Average sell price. Because the more expensive ones stay on the market longer, like you were saying.
Right. Yep. I mean, we're up a significant amount from last year, but we all know that. That's the market we're in.
Yeah.
Home values are going up extremely fast.
Yep.
So that tells you right there.
That's where we're. But like Grant said, affordability is still at a decent place because of interest rates being so reasonable, and they're still so reasonable. And they, like you said, they ticked up just ever so slightly, which is nothing to be alarmed about. But at the same time, it should maybe give us a clue that maybe it's a good time to make a move now.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah,
totally agree. Yeah, because even if you think I'm going to wait a year for prices to not be so crazy, I mean, prices aren't going down. They might not increase as quickly as they are, but you're not going to get a cheaper price next year than you got this year.
They're not going to drop drastically for sure.
No, and really the only thing that's probably going to go up is the interest rates because
which
doesn't
have affordability.
Yeah, that does. Interest rates don't have a whole lot of room to go down. There's really not margin for that. So, all right. Well, hopefully, get through July and hopefully it is sunny and warm in July.
Yeah, we could use a little sunshine.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for regular summer.
Yep.
So we do have some exciting news, though.
Yes.
I think we already we changed our name. It's not on our thing yet.
No,
but we're doing those rollouts today. So switching to Legacy Home Partners. We're super excited about that.
Yeah. Right. So instead of Rachel Gallegos Group, we're going to be the Legacy Home Partners.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's a good
I like
fit.
it a lot.
Yeah, it goes in line with our vision statement, and I think it'll be a good fit for us. So
absolutely. Yep.
We also have Meet the Zeal next week. We filmed it yesterday, and it's a special edition.
Yeah.
Got to get inside City Hall and chat with some important people.
Yep.
So we'll have that out on Monday. And that's it.
Keep it rolling.
All right. You all have a wonderful week.
Have a good weekend. Get some sunshine. Hopefully you can catch a few rays if it peeks through here and there.
All right.
All right.
Have a good weekend. Bye, everyone.
Yep.